Hi, this is going to be a random talk, but please understand random may not be bad. It's like a brainstorming. But I have this thought that we have a faculty, like we can see, hear, smell, taste, and feel on the skin. There's also a faculty of knowing Dhamma, which is the laws of nature, let's call it, meaning that there's an additional dimension that we can perceive. And what it means is that samadhi, when I talk about samadhi, calm and quiet mind, but there's no self, no thinking, no ego. So, for example, if you're meditating like this, closing your eyes, and you may focus on breathing or inner body sensation, or just hear the sound of wind chime, and being quiet, or especially when you check your feeling on the in the nostril for the air to come in and out, or on my hand and the tip of my toe or tip of my head. I think we actually move our eyes a little bit when you do that, and there's a sense of me watching, even though the eyes are closed, that I'm going down to the leg or the thigh or shoulder or neck and top of your head, and going down the spine. And you have the sense of that sensation that may be detected, especially when you're used to the samadhi state in vipassana and going through the scanning of your inner body sensation. Maybe you can try it out briefly, close your eyes and try to, or just to perceive the sense on your palm or shoulder or the finger or tip of your toe, it doesn't matter. And when you do that, and you may move from, let's say, left hand to right hand, and the right hand palm to the left hand, you may move your eyes, even though your eyes may be closed. So what I'm saying is that there's a sense different from when you watch things, but when you're closed, you can still have some sensation through the eye nerve system, so to speak, about where you are paying attention to. Again, if it's on the nostril for breathing, or you can focus what's going on at the tip of your head and back of your head and the neck and the shoulder, and you may actually feel the sense of vibration if you get used to it. You learn how to do this. And even if you haven't tried before, you may have that sense. And if you do, that's the point of this video. We have those faculties of sensing what's going on, but we have that sensing mechanism of what's the situation, or whether or not we are connected to the heart. And let's say samadhi is the state of mind, no self, no mind. So you're quiet, calm and quiet. And by not having a busy mind and the mind empty, you start to see this turbulent mind movement becoming quiet, and then the whole settling mind may point that you get deep into samadhi. And when you get there, in that state, you're connected to the breathing and the inner body sensation and all the activities, but also, if you want, you can check left shoulder, right shoulder, and back of your head, or on your hand, on the palm, and move that point of attention and see the body may respond, or you may discover there's a sense of a vibration, ticklish sensation, or you might even feel like there's atoms and the molecules vibrating because you're paying attention to, and that's like a quantum mechanism, quantum physics. When you pay attention to something, there's a response to that. And if you call that state of samadhi, and you can train and test it out, as I may go through meditation, I may talk more about it when we meditate, because it's quite interesting, because when you have that sensation, eyes closed, but when you open your eyes, you may still have that sense that you can connect to the feeling on your leg or the thigh or shoulder, or the whole universe surrounding and in front of you, as if it's like not a double vision, but your eyes are open, therefore you just have the sense superimposed to what's going on. And the other day I mentioned about I feel like I'm an animal, a deer or a cat. And what it means is that because of no mind and no self, you get melted into the nature and you're back in the Garden of Eden days, before the mind gets into this, after eating the fruit of knowledge, or whatever you call that. You start to learn words and the logic and all that. And that caused that original sin that is bringing another dimension in on top of the state where we were before. So, as I mentioned, that state of samadhi is not staying in the mind, but opening up from the constraint of the mind to connect to your heart and body. Therefore, you are kind of bridging this mind dimension and body and heart dimension, two dimension. Often we don't know anything, especially the modern day people. They're just busy here. And I may be like that when I'm in trouble and can't figure out what to do with this crazy thing going on the computer or something, and I get caught up in there. Then you lose the clarity of connection and the rooted sense. I call it the root of our being is lost. But with samadhi, you start to not look at the mind as the only space and the way you live, but there's the whole universe and all activities in the body and the heart and the space that is right there, which is the eye of wisdom, if you want to call that. And those, I've been to Kathmandu, and there's those temple with the third eye on the temple. So it's like a third eye opening up. I need to look into more of a background and history of the third eye. I may talk more about, describe it in the description here. But whatever the case is, what I explained up to this point was to have additional faculty opening up. Even the eyes are open. Like I mentioned about I felt like a deer or a cat. No mind, no self. And in that state, your eyes are not just focusing one area or that left and right, but the whole. And you will feel that this wholeness is connected to your body. That right now I feel the vibration in my body and the fingers. So it sounds weird, but that is, to me, telling me that the wavelength in the brain is not the beta, but more connecting length of alpha or theta, whatever the case is, that is to get to this zone experience, flow, whatever you call it, or samadhi state, where you are not just confined in the mind, but is expanding and connected the infinite potential existing within us and the law of the universe functioning. So that state of being in the now, in samadhi, can expand us from the limitation of the mind and also connect to the root, and therefore you realize the miracle of the universe that is functioning as it is every moment. So that's like a third eye. And I'm sharing this kind of like a random talk perhaps. But random may be the word and the thought in the mind. But if your mind is settled and just be perceptive, listening to your heart at the same time, instead of, oh, that's random and forget about it, this is boring. No. When I was feeling like a deer or a cat, I called that, it's like an experience of being in the Garden of Eden. And that's what's going on, except in the human mind, right? Just following the Christian, Bible story, but connecting to the Buddhist way or some Hinduist or whatever. But not the religion, but more of a spirituality, if you want to call it. Because religion has the sense of this dogma and something to go with it. But it's more of a, to me, it's more of a scientific awareness, awakening of potential within. And with that common mind, with this third eye type of a awareness that you can bring, be a human, but be a cat or the deer at times, and appreciate life. Not always gain and loss and money and fame and this and that and comparing A to B and dualistic view of good and bad, but as it is. So know that as it isness, developing this faculty, cultivating it. Because when we are a little baby, we didn't have the words and logic. So in my view, I was awakened, enlightened in the Garden of Eden. And then by adding all the stuff, and this is right and wrong, that you shouldn't do this and all that stuff, and some sadness, and you're supposed to do this and that, and you get clogged up with all the right and wrong and pain and whatever happens, we need to clean up. So I think I posted one video today about the cleansing. The baptism in Christianity, to me, it's like a cleansing of soul. Maybe there's no such word, but like samadhi. No self, no mind. Cleaning up. So in my view of cleansing, if you use the Baptist idea, I do it multiple times. Every day I post YouTube, meditating, and little talk. It's a moment that I hope I can communicate something in there related like this topic. And I may do it more often. But I thought just taking this opportunity of Yeah, I was out taking a shower and feeling great. And the feeling, the sense of greatness of just yard work and sweating and taking shower in the solar, and I made it. And it's so much fun, and I'm alive. It's the physical work, I was sweating, and there's joy to go with it. And this is solar, I made it with a black vinyl pipe, and it doesn't cost much. And that primitiveness and direct experience and the fun element, yeah, bringing me back the childlikeness, and to go with it is not that image, but the other image, the third eye image of, yeah, this is it. So, whether you can accept the word using cleansing or baptism, maybe it's a Buddhist way, it doesn't matter what you call, is to know ourselves, have the state of samadhi, or some may call zone or flow, whatever the term, but it's the nature's way. Don't make it artificial and foreign, but discover on your own, because, like I said, our root, where we came from, is that power of nature making us to be alive, and we can connect to that. So may all beings be happy. Thank you for listening.